Hey, Carly. Okay, we got somebody on camera finally. Okay, here we go. I want to connect you with a friend of mine who was looking for an A&R. Since you have some background, I don't know if you're still in that field or not, but I have a friend who was looking for A&R a while ago. So hopefully I can connect y'all. So my name is Jared Olua. I am a hip hop and R&B music composer and vocalist. Started doing music when I was born because my parents started doing music. So I just grew up in a church and all the churches that I went to, I probably played drums and piano, singing choir, and all that other stuff. Then I started doing studio sessions as I grew up, and then figured out that wasn't for me. The great part about 2020 is that we all had to sit down and figure out what we were going to do at home. And so that's when I really invested in a lot of my studio equipment and began to do more music from the house, which was one of the greatest things that I've invested in, if you want to say that, because it allowed me to just work from home, don't have to
If
worry
you
about
are a woman
booking a
composer,
studio
a
or
lot of
anything like that.
initiatives are
So
out there.
I was
So
able
you get
to just
ahead
figure everything out,
of
make
the
relationships, come
men,
back to the house,
I mean,
make
because they have
records, send them
certain
out, and get paid.
initiatives and programs and
So
things of
I
that
want
nature.
you all to do that
So
as well. It's going to look
that's
different for
something for
everybody.
everybody
I
to
got this number two behind me
keep in
because I
mind.
have a thing where it says it takes 2 years. Give yourself about 2 years going hard at something before you give up and say it's not working. So, sync licensing, I hope everybody knows what it is. And if you don't, you're here to learn. Thank you for coming. So, this is the introduction to sync licensing. What is it? I'm going to go through them real quick. And if you see the need to take a screenshot, please do. It's music paired with visual, something that captures interest and for you to buy a product for the most part. So, something like commercials, games, trailers, podcasts, news, sports, car sounds as well. A lot of people forget about car sounds or even apps that have sounds that makes the noises, ringtones, right? Those are micro syncs, but they're still syncs. You can get paid for it and still be credited for it. So what are some examples of famous syncs? These are my favorite. I'm pretty sure you know all of these. O'Reilly Auto Parts, the NFL theme song. Burger King is my most favorite one because I swear it's that song, BK, have it your way, you rule, has been playing so long. I don't know how long that campaign is going on, but that artist is going crazy at the bank right now. And then Liberty Mutual, Liberty Mutual, whatever, right? And a lot of people don't even know who these people are, but we know their music, we know their sound. That's who I want to be. I want to be able to go to the mall, nobody knows me, and I can buy out the whole joint if I want to. So these are a few things to keep in mind. Your genres that you specialize in. If you know you specialize in indie pop or gospel music, like we heard somebody say, make an EP of like 4 to 7 theme records talking about a certain theme. Empowerment, talking about celebration. What is it that's organic and authentic to you that you can do and somebody's going to use and they want it? So, compose songs with general lyrics. What do I mean with that? Instead of saying it's a lot of stars in the sky, just say it looks beautiful outside. Or this view is beautiful because now you can be inside, you can be outside, it can be daytime, it can be nighttime. So instead of being subjective about what something looks like, explain the feeling and the emotion of what that feels and what you see. What if somebody, I ain't even gonna go there. I was about to say somebody's blind and you need to paint a picture, then that means you got to be more vivid and descriptive. So don't worry about that. But another thing is to collab with other creatives. Even if you can do everything yourself, that's great. But you also want to help delegate. So if you're great and better at songwriting, have somebody else do the production. Even if you do them all, probably have somebody else do it so you don't have to worry about doing everything yourself. So delegation is a powerful tool. And I would say to collaborate with somebody who's already in sync, that's in music libraries that you don't have access to. So you're putting possibilities over there and then possibilities over wherever you are. I'll get into like what music libraries are in case somebody does not know. So these are some of the themes that are evergreen, meaning that they're going to come back around every time. So celebration is done every day, Monday through Monday, wherever you are around the world. So celebration is always key. Let's change the world. There's always something going on crazy, whether that's politics, whether that's a war, whether that's the stock market going crazy, or, people's culture. Like that's always going to be something about coming together type of thing. Holidays and birthdays. Holidays come around every year. We know Mother's Day is coming up. So guess what? It's coming up next year. It's going to come up the year after that and the year after that, right? Birthdays are every day. It might not be yours, but somebody's birthday is every day. Empowerment and confidence, that's something that is the greatest one because we deal with that, especially as creatives ourselves. We need empowerment, we need confidence. But there's also songs and records about empowerment and confidence that are also used for sports, any type of disability. So you have to overcome it and having that empowerment to do that. Not backing down, that's also good for sports. Perseverance, not giving up. You're going through something. Okay, cool. I fell down. Now I got to get back up and I got to rise up and go harder. Saying goodbye, leaving home. So maybe somebody's going off to college or, they're getting married. So they're moving out the house. So saying things like that, you're leaving your hometown, you're leaving something you once knew, a relationship, a friendship, even a pet. You know what I mean? Like it's always going to be an emotional time that's music is used for. And then platonic relationships, meaning I'm just having a good time with my friends. Whether that's male, female, me, and both with the same. It's like we're having fun with my buddies, with my girls, with my guys. We outside. We finna have a good time. We finna hit the streets, right? So those are the evergreen themes that come up. And then I have a thing that I call submission alignment, meaning submitting your material of people who already represent the music you do. So I wouldn't try to submit any hip hop stuff to a library that only does like disco or like four on the floor pop music because it doesn't make sense. So if you have jazz, submit it to somebody who represents jazz. If you have rap, submit it to somebody who represents rap, country with country, and so forth and so forth. And if you don't know, that's where you have to do this magnifying glass right here and do some searching and say, hey, what companies represent this type of music? And usually, if you go on a website, they'll have a submission page that you can see, and you will know like what if it's exclusive, meaning that it could be sent to them and they will rep it themselves, or if it's non-exclusive, which you can kind of just submit it to whoever. But even when you do that, I would say make a kind of like a an Excel sheet to know like, okay, I sent this song or these songs to this company, put the date on there. And then so you can know like, okay, I don't want to send this song again because I almost did that before where I was like, oh, I got a brief. I'm gonna send them this song if it's perfect. I looked at my sheet and I already sent that song to them. So that would make me look weird. But like, bro, like, why you send the same song? We already have it. So put that in there for your own records and just makes you look professional and like you know what you're doing because artists aren't really looked at as people who know what they're doing because we're too busy being creative. All right, that's cool. But how do I get people to listen to my music and get placements, right? A lot of people want to know about that stuff. It's like, yeah, yeah, we hear you. Thanks for having this thing. But how do I get placements for real? How do you get your music on commercials and networks and stuff? So it's just like, all right, boom. My experience was music libraries and sync agents. Music library is a collection of songs that a company or person has in their catalog to license the music that you produce. Um, so they have terms. It can be a year, it could be 2 years, 3 or 5, or forever, right? Depending on what the terms is. Most of my placements have come from me pitching songs to a library, not knowing if it's going to work or not, but it's like a hopeful thing. And so, like I said, that number two behind me, I submitted some things and didn't hear anything for 2 years. The next, placements start running in from the craziest thing, which is reality TV, which I never thought I'd be getting to reality TV. I don't do reality TV music. I never watch it. Yet and still, I was like, let me try this reality TV thing. And I started getting placements on Below Deck, Mediterranean, Housewives of Dubai, Housewives of Potomac, Housewives of Atlanta, New Jersey. And it's just they just start pouring in. And I'm just like, hey, yo, what in the world? So guess what that means? I'm getting royalties from those records that I was, placed in. And then also I got credits. So I get to say, hey, I'm on these songs. My songs are on these shows. That makes you look good when you pitch to another library or another agent because you have some type of understanding of what's going on in the game. But wait, how can my songs stand out from all the millions that are out there? Because they are literally millions and millions, probably billions of songs at this point that's out there. So I don't know if everybody knows what metadata is. So this is information that's used to describe your song, who's the artist that's on there, your contact information, what's the BPM. If you want to get savvy, you even put the key. Is it A major? Is it B minor? Things of that nature. Um, and I always put the email. I tell people always put the email because your number can change tomorrow, but the email will pretty much stay the same. So that's a key thing to always make sure you answer. And if you don't, if you can actually put your emails on notifications so they can come in whenever they come in. So you don't be like, oh, this company emailed me back 4 days ago. I didn't even know. Um, so if you have a lot of emails that's coming in that's junk mail, probably make a new email then so you'll be able to respond back quickly. I've had a lot of companies that say thank you so much for responding back so fast because artists don't really look at their emails. They think it's for admin purposes only. But hey, if you want to get paid, that emails is going to be the way that you get that contract. That email is going to be the way that they say, hey, we loved it. Send more. So you want to make sure you stay on top of that. And it's not looking thirsty like, oh, I don't want to answer back too quick. No, they love it. They pay attention. So don't have that feeling that it's going to be too much. Hey, if you do that, so make sure you have your notifications on for your emails. So communication is on point. A sync agent, these are people who you should make your best friends. They are somebody who has relationships with maybe people and companies that you don't. So it's like a car salesman. Like a car salesman, they really get paid when they sell a car. Real estate, they get paid when they sell a house. And they really want to push your music because that's when they get some bread. And so, especially when they have a family or they believe in you, they're going to really be out there doing their due diligence and saying, nah, I got to pitch this record that, they sent me because I believe in it. And it's great for this contact that I have at Toyota, or it's great for this contact that I have at Apple, or even smaller things like cafes. People forget about cafes and things of that nature, or fitness apps and things of that nature. The news, Weather Channel, like people forget about those exist and those need music as well. Podcast, people's YouTube channels. So keep those things in mind. It doesn't always have to be the top of the top to get a sync placement, even though that's might be what you want. But those little ones add up too, and they build credibility as well. So most of the time, these sync agents can take anywhere from 25 to 45%. So if you see that and you be like, oh no, they're trying to take all my stuff, like it's okay. Like literally it's okay because you wouldn't have nothing, first of all. And if you think that's your best song, then that means make more music. Because if you think this is my baby, I can't make another song like that. Really? Come on, put some more faith in your music and your understanding of what you can do with your craft. Make another record, and get some more money. All right, cool. So let me check the chat, see what y'all talking about. I see somebody putting some stuff up there. Can I check the chat? Yeah. Okay, cool. You're welcome. All right, cool. All right. So getting back to it, supervisors. What are music supervisors? A lot of people think that they're the people to really go to, but I'm gonna be the one that says maybe not. Supervisors, their thing is to clear the music and to make sure that they pay the people and do the split sheets and make the cue sheets. They do place music and take music, but they're scared of independent artists because they don't know if you're using splice loops or BeatStars or your buddies from Warner or Sony is on the record. So now that means Sony and Warner wants to get involved and be like, wait, how much is the budget? $1,000? Nah, we need 10K and we need publishing. So now it messes up your opportunity for possibly getting that sync license. So I would suggest working with independent artists. And if you want to include them on the split sheets, please do to make sure everybody's credited and paid. Or you can do work for hire where you can pay them and you also have a contract in so you can make sure that is allocated to what it's supposed to be. So everybody's on the same page. and you have authorization to pitch that stuff. So make sure that everyone has a PRO. If you don't know what that is short for Performance Rights Organization. So I know there's some people from Vancouver in here. So I was it is that CSAC or SOCAN? SOCAN. SOCAN is your publishing thing within the states. For America, it's BMI, ASCAP, and CSEC. Every country has their own. So wherever you are, usually you'll have your own performance rights organization, which would allow you to have your IPI number, which is your musical social security number. So if I put that in, it's only going to lead to you and you only. Okay, cool. And please get a publishing account. ASCAP and BMI, I think they are free at the moment. If you get if you don't have one, you can sign up for it. It should be free at the moment. Don't quote me, but I think it is. You want to have a writers, and then you also want to have your publishing because publishing is how you get paid on the back end. And you actually get quote unquote paid twice. So you'll get the sync fee, and then when the song is aired, you'll get paid for that as well, only when it's aired, or publicly performed as well. So if you want to publicly perform it, or somebody else wants to remix it, that's when you'll get publishing because now it's a new song, but they'll be able to, you'll be able to get paid from them doing that song if they use what you did. And that's when you get residual income, which is what creators want. Okay. So there's a thing called one stop agreement. So this is a document that gives authorization for one person to pitch this music. Like I mentioned earlier, your music social security number has to be on there, the percentage of splits, the writers and the publishing, and to determine who and what and who's paid out and how much. All right, so let's get universal. Who are you without your music? That's a big part of this game as well. I mean, I know everybody wants to be in sync licensing and get paid, but when you're at an event or if you're talking to somebody on a Zoom, who are you without your music? So you have to know this question. And if you don't know it right now, that's okay. It takes time. So you have to know like why are you here? Why are you in this field? Why are you in this industry? What makes you do music? What makes you get up every day and say I want to do this record? Or what makes you say I don't want to get up and do this record? I've had those, and maybe you've had those days too where you're like emotional about it, like you don't feel like doing it. Whether that's the business side or the creative side, it's rhetorical, but I'm still curious to know, and I hope you do know. You can take a screenshot of this. This is about just networking because networking is a part of the artistry. Um, so when I go to different events, I never talk about music. And supervisors always tell me, "Hey, you've never pitched music to me." So that lets me know that they are aware and they acknowledge that I don't pitch to them. But maybe if I know they have a website, I might go on there and submit through the website or something like that. But I'm always talking about other things, food, vacation. When is the last time you've taken a break? Usually they don't take breaks. And I'm just like, oh no. And so they're like, now that's something that they got to think about doing because they don't think about taking breaks. They're so busy being engulfed in work. And yeah, so I'm always going to talk about something different. So try to talk about things that's like, how's your week been? Instead of asking this question, I'm pretty sure somebody in here does it, but if you can, try to stick away from meeting somebody and say, hey, what do you do? Everybody does that, and that turns people off a lot because now they're like, oh, you just want to know if I can help you. So now they're gonna look at you like, I don't know if I want to tell you what I do. So let's try that if you can. To take a screenshot of that, I want to hurry up so I can do Q&A for the last few minutes. But yeah, have time, have some fun. There's more than one way to equal to the number 10, right? So what does that mean for you? You got to figure out your way to do it. It's going to look different from your peers. It's going to look different from the first or the last time you've done something. And if you don't believe it, why do it? So that means believe in it and do it. All right, where to build relationships, online events, social media, classmates, teacher, staff. If you're in school, you go to college or whatever the case is, these are great things to do. Also, investing in one-on-one consultations is which is how I got my first sync license and placement. Working with a supervisor that I actually paid for a consultation for, and we did a song, got it placed. Uh, like I said, it's not gonna look the same for everybody. But all right, I'm done talking. I have a book that's on Amazon KDP. It's called 12 Notes to Sync. Let me see if I can get that link just in case. If you do have Amazon, It's free, I think, for you. You could just read it. Um, and I'm gonna stop sharing, and that's it. All right, cool. If you have Amazon, it's free for you. You can get it. All right, so I see the first question. Thank you again for all being here. I appreciate you all. So hey, Jared. So I'm free to perform my song even if it's signed to a library. Maybe. So that depends on the contract from the company that you sign with. So they might say if it's exclusive and they're buying out your work, then you can't perform that. You know, you'll ask them and see if they can say, "Hey, would you allow me to do it?" Get it in writing because somebody will say yes, but then there's a team of people. One person on that team might have said yes, but the other team was like, "Yo, you didn't talk to me." So now that makes you look like you're crazy, and then you didn't have it documented. So now you don't have a case, right? So with whatever you do, make sure you have documentation and paper trail. And that's for anything. Even if you're at work and you say, "Hey, can I have this week off?" And they say, "Yeah." And then another manager's like, "Hey, yo, you didn't put in for this." And you be like, "Oh, I told Johnny." Johnny forgot, bro. So always email so you can have some type of paper trail to come back to because people forget and things of that nature. So make sure you do that. So yeah, check with the actual company that you sign with before you perform it, because it could be an exclusive deal. All right. Audrey says, should you wait to get a response from one library before submitting to the next one, or can you submit? Yeah, you can submit to multiple libraries. So the thing you want to make sure you find out is it an exclusive library, meaning that it only can be represented by them? Or is it a non-exclusive where you can ship it to anybody you want? But earlier I was mentioning about having a Excel sheet so you can document what song did I send out, when did I send it, and who did I send it to? Because you don't want to send the same songs to everybody, and then next you know you're getting all jumbled up, and you don't know who's represented it anymore. And so maybe if you get that song placed, you might want to go to the other places and be like, "Hey, just let you know, I got this song placed with this library. Is that okay? If you still want to pitch it, because you just never know who's pitching to what." Okay. And if you don't want to type, you can chat and say something if you want, and unmute if you want to say anything and ask a question. I may or may not know the answer, and I am not a lawyer, so I don't want to be like, "Yeah, do this. This is the right way." No. So feel free. What else I was gonna say? And I've been doing workshops for a while, and I know that a lot of people might not say anything at the moment, or they might not have the question that they wanted to come up in their head, and they'll get it after. Feel free to hit me up about it offline. I also have this fill out link here just to get a feel of who you are, what you do, what do you want, because I have different levels of discovery calls that I do to help you get the best out of your journey. Like I said, give yourself 2 years. A lot can happen, but that's what the journey is. You don't want to get everything that first year because now you're not going to have anything to look forward to in year 3 or year 5 because you already did everything, you know. So now everything's boring. Okay, Coco, I see your hand up.
Hello, hey
Hey,
Jared.
hey.
Wonderful to be here. Hi everyone. I actually am a manager. My company is Gensu Management. So I'm here on behalf of multiple artists, just trying to find ways to open up different streams of income, right? Because a
Mm.
lot of the younger artists don't know a lot about sync. So this is good information. My question for you is, do you have like a mentoring ship that you do, or do you have an email where I could contact you? Because I have other opportunities where I think you would be really good as far as sharing your knowledge out.
Of course, of course. I want to say, Coco, thank you so much for the encouraging words and for coming on here and speaking. I do offer mentorship. A lot of times with the programs that I filled out here, with that link that I sent, we when we do our discovery call, it comes with mentorship depending on which one you want. Because I just don't want to just educate people and just like, here, go figure it out. I want to be able to be like, okay, what are you challenged with, and how can I actually solve that with a solution? It's not just like on some like, yeah, yeah, for sure, I got you, but I don't. Like we're gonna hop on calls. We're gonna hop on Zooms. I want to know what you're doing. We're gonna come up with a strategic plan as well, and have an actual goal and timeline to meet that by, because I got to make sure you're being accountable for this. Plus, if you pay me, I don't want to get paid just to get paid. I want to make sure if you're taking my class or my course or my whatever, that you walk away with understanding, saying, I learned this from Jared. Because if you say some crazy stuff talking about I learned this from Jared, they're going to be like, hey, yo, what? So that makes me look bad. That makes you look like you don't know what you're talking about. And that's why I really care about supporting artists in this elevation, because it has to be done. And your reputation is everything in this game.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you as well. And I see Kirsten asked a question. Assume today was the first day of wanting to seek out a sync placement with the knowledge you have. What's the first thing you do? So I would Google um, music library, sync agents, sync licensing. But the thing about that is you have to make sure you do your due diligence of going on these websites, seeing what they're doing, seeing if they're active, seeing if they have an Instagram page as well. See if are they making placements, because if they're not getting placements and they don't have anything on their roster, it's kind of like, yeah, you're not the one. Also look out for people that say, oh, pay per submission or join this class and pay us monthly. Like, you should never have to pay for that if they're not consulting with you. You should never pay to submit. So I will go on there. LinkedIn is a big one. I've gotten so many opportunities from Instagram and LinkedIn, because that's where a lot of people are as far as sync agents, music libraries, the staff of different companies. So I will go on there, type in certain keywords, and once I have, assuming you have your music already, then I'll go ahead on and see what the submission process is for each different company, because they're not the same. They might be similar, but not the same. I think I saw Annie with a question.
Yes, I put my hand down.
Okay.
Hi, it's nice to meet you, Jared.
Pleasure to
Sorry,
meet you as well.
I was literally, I just got off the plane. I was like trying to
Hey,
get in the bars and like listen to the audio and everything like that. But I
for
appreciate
sure.
your time. It's nice to meet everyone.
Yeah.
I'm a rapper, melodic rapper slash producer out in Vancouver.
Okay.
My question to you is, I've been really successful at college radio in terms of that kind of syncing right now up in Canada, but I want to start branching out more into traditional media. Some of the feedback I've been given is with the type of music I have, it needs to be longer. So most of my music is about just the 2:45, 3 minute mark. In terms of traditional syncing from your experience, what are they looking for? Are they looking for kind of like the traditional, hook, chorus, like repetition kind of thing? Like, does that get placed more easily, or is it just honestly depending on like the brand of the artist as well, like what they're looking for? Do they take that into the account, or just more for soundtrack or even background stuff? Are they actually looking for, you know, clips where or parts of the song where they can sink into like an action, or like does
Yeah.
it just have to kind of,
All
just have
those.
to be longer than three
Yeah.
minutes?
It's all of those. And honestly, I don't know who told you about this longer thing. Maybe that's just that company. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm a
yeah.
little bit of a younger, like he was that media company is more based in Houston and like looking for a certain, the classic Netflix template of stuff. But I'm just curious to see like is there something to do with my songwriting where it's just like we're not getting there, or like it's just,
Nah.
you know,
Nah, it's as long as you hit the 2 minute mark, you're good. So
okay,
if
okay.
they want it to go longer, then they'll ask you to, hey, can you make an extended version, right?
Right.
But I've never had somebody to say make this longer or make this shorter or whatever the
Yeah,
case is.
yeah.
Just make sure it hits the 2 minute mark. That's for everybody, any song that you do. But we also know that we're in a generation that everything is so fast. Nobody
Yeah,
wants
that's
a
where I'm
long
like,
intro anymore. So
yeah,
in
yeah.
sync licensing, quick intro,
Yeah,
quick
get to
intro.
the point, right? I want to hear the chorus
Get
now,
straight to
is
it.
what I've always kind of wanted as well within my music. Like,
Yeah.
we do the hook first, like that's kind of the vibe, but
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure. And like, especially in the States, like that's actually where my audience is as well. Like, if they're looking for that kind of stuff, since my music isn't really PC to begin with, if I'm just limiting my options and
Yeah.
my opportunities by making it short as well.
Yeah, no, no, you're good to go. I would also just make sure that you have a lot of transitions. So like drops, because editors are the ones that's going to, when they ask for the stems, the editors are going to be the ones that's going to be like, okay, cool, let me put this here. Let me bring this part
Mm,
here.
right.
Usually when you hear these commercials or these different TV shows, it might not be the original edit that they sent them. Sometimes
Mm,
the editor chops some stuff up to
right.
bend
And
it
you,
to
the
the
artist would
picture.
have to be open to that, obviously, because
Yeah.
no, this is my song. Like,
You would
it's
be
not how you do it,
surprised. Some
right?
people say, no, don't do that. And they lose sync licensing opportunities because they want their music to be the way that they have it.
Yeah, yeah. But as
I'm,
an artist, like, that's not the reality of the situation, right? Which I'm open. That's why I'm like, okay, if you want my song 5 minutes, like the 90s, like, you got it, you know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely be open because every company is going to ask for something different. That's just the way
Right.
it works. Whether that's in state or in country or not, everybody's going to want something different. But the key is to have at least 2 minutes, have multiple transitions, whether that's drops, adding something, a new element in every 4 bars, and then having something what they call a sting ending, if depending on what your song
Thing
is.
ending. Can you elaborate just a little bit? New
So,
artist, that's okay.
so it's like if you do like a song that's like I don't know if you can hear this good, but like so like it's like wherever you're going to lead up to something and having a definite ending and not
Right.
like a wait, did they end the song or did
Like
they
like
not
you're
end
waiting for
it?
the beat to drop kind of thing,
Yeah.
right?
So it's
Okay.
like go out with a resolve, like
Right.
a resolution of the actual song.
Hmm.
Um, but it depends on what genre that you're doing or whoever's looking for it is going to be
Right.
different for that. But make sure you have different editing points when you
Yeah.
submit for the
Answer
editors.
is all depends. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
Of course, my pleasure. Sandra asks, what other platform is used for music, please? Yeah, Disco is it was called disco.ac. Um, what you can do with that is it's a place where you can hold all your music. We only have 2 minutes left. But you can hold all your music there and put metadata in there. Um, Many supervisors and music agents were asked for a disco playlist because they don't maybe have Spotify. Maybe they don't want you to send them an MP3 to their email. So they're really particular about that. So sometimes you have to invest in yourself to get some things done to send it out and make something happen. So we got 1 minute left. Any last questions? I'll put my email in the chat. I'll put it in again if anybody has any last minute questions. I made sure it was only 40 minutes because it was free. And if you have anything that you would like to talk about, definitely let me know. I'll put this other thing back in the chat as well. If you want to do a discovery call and book something and make sure we can help you do your thing. Um, but last but not least, thank you so much for pulling up and being here, whether you did ask a question or not. I really appreciate y'all. And while y'all have this last 30 seconds, if y'all drop y'all IG or something so people can collab with y'all.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you so
And
much.
enjoy the
Enjoy
weekend.
the day.
It's Friday, so y'all have some fun and drink some water.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. My pleasure. Y'all. Thank you.